Imagine picking up your morning coffee, slipping on comfortable shoes, or grabbing a snack. Objects so ordinary you barely notice them. But what if one of those everyday items was born from human desperation, prison labor, or a tool designed to cut through living bone? In 1780s, Scotland, two doctors crafted a device to save mothers in agonizing childbirth by slicing through flesh and cartilage with mechanical precision. Today, that same mechanical principle sits in garages and workshops worldwide, humming to life for backyard projects. This is not fiction or dramatized horror. These are documented origins of objects we use without a second thought. The weight of history hides in plain sight. Today, we pull back the curtain on everyday objects with dark origins. Stories of suffering, moral crusades, and unintended legacies that shaped the modern world. If you've ever wondered how the ordinary became stained by the past, stay with me. This one might change what you reach for tomorrow. Hit like if you're ready to see the familiar differently, and subscribe for more verified historical deep dives. Our world overflows with mass-produced conveniences, yet many trace back to eras of profound human struggle. From Victorian prisons to 19th-century sanitariums and wartime innovation, these objects emerged not from comfort, but from attempts to control bodies, labor, or desire. Consider the treadmill. Patented in 1818 by William Cubitt as a treadwheel for British prisons, it forced inmates, often petty offenders or the impoverished, to climb endless steps, grinding grain or pumping water as punishment. A single session could last hours, breaking spirits under the guise of reform. By the 1820s, dozens of prisons adopted it, turning human endurance into state machinery. Parallel stories unfold with breakfast staples and medical tools. These were not neutral inventions, but responses to societal fears, moral decay, disease, or inefficiency, in times when science, religion, and control intertwined. Archival prison records in medical histories document the human cost, exhaustion, injury, and lives marked by these reforms. The hidden truth is that darkness often seeds the ordinary. The chainsaw, now a construction staple, originated in the late 18th century when Scottish doctors John Aitken and James Jeffray developed an oscillating saw for symphysiotomy, widening the pelvis during difficult births to save mothers and infants when C-sections were deadly. It was a tool of desperate mercy amid high maternal mortality. Powered by hand, crank through bone. Cornflakes emerged from Dr. John Harvey Kellogg's Battle Creek Sanitarium in the 1890s. A devout Seventh-day Adventist, Kellogg engineered bland foods like these cereals to suppress impure thoughts and sexual urges, part of a regimen including yogurt enemas and electrical treatments to enforce moral purity. Patients, including the famous, endured this in pursuit of health reform. These verified accounts from medical patents, sanitarium records, and prison logs reveal how objects we normalize carried the weight of fear, pain, and control. Before these turning points, daily life was raw. In 18th to and 19th century Europe and America, childbirth killed thousands of women annually due to infection and complications. Prisons overflowed with the urban poor amid industrialization. Physicians and reformers sought solutions, sometimes humane, often punitive. Society grappled with vice, disease, and labor. Religious movements pushed dietary and behavioral controls. Medical tools were crude. The stage was set for innovations born of crisis, a world of limited anesthesia, rigid morality, and back-breaking toil where human bodies were both problem and solution. Primary sources like prison commission reports and medical journals from the era ground this reality. The breaking point arrived with calculated desperation. For the chainsaw, it was the unrelenting screams in birthing rooms where traditional methods failed. Doctors turned to mechanical precision, iterating on prototypes that could cut symphysis pubis cartilage efficiently, documented in their 1780s publications. Kellogg's Sanitarium enforced his vision at scale. Patients faced restrictive diets, Cornflakes, initially wheat-based then corn, were a healthy bland staple to dampen passions. Treadmills powered prison routines, extracting labor while punishing idleness. These moments crystallized when necessity or ideology demanded action. Mid-video. If these hidden stories hit hard, subscribe and comment your own everyday object you'd like explored next. Your support keeps fact-based history alive. Controversy and silence followed. Chainsaw origins as a surgical tool faded as forestry versions dominated in the 20th century. Few recall its medical roots amid horror film associations. Kellogg's anti-masturbation crusade drew later ridicule, yet his cereal empire thrived, overshadowing the intent. Treadmills evolved into fitness equipment, their penal past largely erased in marketing. Debates persist in historical scholarship about the ethics of these reforms. Did they save lives or inflict needless suffering? Declassified or archived records show reformers' confidence clashing with inmates' and patients' documented hardships. Public memory sanitized the dark for consumer appeal. Executing the impossible demanded raw human resolve. Picture a dimly lit 18th century operating room. A mother in prolonged labor. Life ebbing. Doctors Aitken and Jeffrey, guided by anatomical study, deploy their prototype chainsaw. Small, hand-crank teeth on a chain. With steady hands despite the stakes, they perform the procedure, separating bone where hands or knives could not. Medical texts verify early successes amid high risks, a grim triumph of engineering over fatal tradition. One moment of unexpected humanity. In the aftermath of such operations, surviving mothers and physicians sometimes shared quiet relief. Not celebration, but the profound, exhausted gratitude of lives preserved against odds. Archival case notes capture this fragile connection. A doctor's note of a patient's faint smile through pain, reminding us innovation served real people. Kellogg's team perfected the flaking process through exhaustive trials, turning boiled grains into crisp, marketable flakes. Prison treadwheels turned under the relentless steps of men serving sentences, their labor quantifiable in grain output, logged in official records. These verified events, patents filed, procedures documented, regimens enforced, changed manufacturing, medicine, and punishment forever. The aftermath reshaped daily life. Chainsaws revolutionized logging and rescue. Cornflakes became a breakfast staple, their origins reframed as wholesome innovation. Treadmills entered gyms, symbols of voluntary discipline rather than coercion. Yet legacies linger. Ethical questions about medical consent, moral control through food, and labor exploitation echo in modern discussions. These objects endure as testaments to human ingenuity amid darkness, commercial successes built on earlier struggles. Historical analyses credit the adaptations while acknowledging documented costs. What ordinary object in your home today carries unseen shadows from the past? As we uncover these verified stories, from primary medical records to prison ledgers, we confront how history's weight shapes the mundane. Does knowing change how you see them? Comment below with your thoughts on this moral dilemma. When does an invention's dark birth justify its modern good? Share a surprising fact that stayed with you. And what question remains for you? Subscribe for more grounded histories and turn on notifications. We have more to reveal. Truth, no matter how uncomfortable, demands we look closer.